Thanks for staying with us. Time now for Across Africa, our weekly look at stories from across the continent with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. This week, a slippery slope. Nigerian communities that rely on sales of shea nuts are worried that a 6-month export ban aimed at boosting locally produced goods that use the nuts will actually leave the nuts unsold and disrupt communities' livelihoods. Also, Benin's one of Africa's biggest pineapple producers, but breakdowns in the system mean that food waste is a particularly prickly problem. Well, one team of tech entrepreneurs have turned their attention to the breakdowns with some pretty sweet results, we have to say. And in the Republic of Congo, young people are putting themselves on the front line of protecting their coastlines. Many banding together to get their communities to clean up their act and come down hard on plastic pollution. But first, Nigeria is using a 6-month export ban on shea nuts to try and encourage more local processing of the produce. Now, the country supplies about 40% of the global shea crop, which is hugely in demand for the cosmetics industry. But few of the lucrative soaps, lotions and creams that use shea butter are produced in Nigeria itself. So this new policy aims to add value to locally grown raw materials. But communities whose livelihoods already depend on sales of shea nuts are worried that they'll be stuck with unsold produce. Our Olivia Bizo tells us more.
In these farmlands of Aliwa village, about 300 kilometres north of Lagos, Adija collects shea nuts she once sold abroad. But now, with a 6-month export ban, the 45-year-old farmer says she can no longer make ends meet.
It feels like they want us to be crushed. This is the money I use in meeting my children's needs. Now I'm in debt.
Nigeria grows 40% of the world's shea nuts, but exports nearly all of them raw. Foreign companies make the butter and the profits. The government says the ban will keep nuts at home, boost local factories, and create jobs in a €6 billion industry. Traders are already seeing prices collapse, and many say the sudden ban left them no time to sell stock.
Since they knew we could no longer sell shea nuts to companies exporting abroad, they should have informed us in advance. At the very least, given us 2 months to clear our stock before making the ban effective.
But while vendors count their losses, processors see opportunity.
We're happy with the ban on the exportation of shea nuts because now there'll be enough shea nuts for us to manufacture shea butter in Nigeria. We'll be able to refine more shea butter here. We'll be able to produce, and our workers will have work to do. We know that Nigeria has the best shea butter, so we'll be able to produce more Nigerian-made shea butter for the rest of the world to buy from us.
Economists warn, though, that without stronger demand at home, farmers may abandon the crop, threatening the very industry Nigeria hopes to grow.
Well, a group of young Togolese creatives have set up an animation studio in Lomé to draw on their own experiences and aspirations as they craft cliché-free stories of their continent. Clem Vala tells us more.
Artists in this small animation studio in Lomé aim to break down stereotypes about the African continent.
We want to show an Africa that creates, innovates and participates in building the world, which is the opposite of the image of Africa as a place of famine and war.
Here, cartoons are inspired by everyday life or by the vast repertoire of African myths.
The creativity comes from everything we have read, everything we have experienced, our own history, and also, well, the history that comes from our culture.
The artists juggle multiple roles: illustrator, animator, and even voice actor.
We sometimes take on high school students, especially those with prerequisites in drawing. And when they hear about our studio, they come, we train them, and then put them to work on projects.
While talent isn't an issue, financing is. The studio operates thanks to revenue from advertising spots that are commissioned from them, but have no regional or state financial help. However, its director is reluctant to accept subsidies from abroad. He doesn't want to run the risk of losing his independence and identity.
Well, Benin's one of Africa's top pineapple producers, but in parts of the continent, up to 40% of agricultural crops are wasted because of a number of factors, ranging from delays in getting produce where it needs to be to inadequate storage facilities. Altogether, it creates a prickly problem that has attracted the attention of local tech entrepreneurs who've already had some pretty sweet results with their attempts at solving those tricky problems. Take a look.
Right now is the peak pineapple season in Benin. Farmers are busy harvesting while buyers are lining up. But between February and August, demand drops significantly, and farmers have 1 week to sell their stock before it spoils. They could lose up to 25% of their crop.
In previous years, some of my pineapples would rot because there was no market.
Last year, I couldn't find any buyers for some of my pineapples. I had to reduce the price and sell them for pennies.
Although Benin is a major pineapple producer in Africa, finding buyers quickly remains a challenge. To address this issue, an agricultural engineer and a tech specialist created a mobile app. ePina locates pineapple fields and connects farmers with buyers. Exporters are notified as soon as crops are ready for harvest.
What we've observed in the past is that exporters could spend days searching for raw materials. Today, with our platform, they can find the pineapples that they need with just one click. They can also plan ahead with a clear idea of pineapple availability over 6 months.
In just 2 years, the app has helped to sell 600 tons of pineapples by linking about 2,000 farmers with over 200 buyers. As a result, farmers saw their income rise by at least 20%. Exporting them, however, demands less fertilizers. So they set up a startup, BioLife, to teach farmers eco-friendly methods, making the soil healthier and extending the fruit's shelf life.
The market that we're introducing to our producers is demanding. Teaching them on the ground makes a real difference.
ePina was born from a partnership between a tech expert and an agronomist, both committed to helping farmers. With support from groups like Digital Africa and Proparco, part of the French Development Agency, BioLife Tech plans to expand into new markets like Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, and beyond.
In the Republic of Congo, young people are putting themselves on the front line of protecting their coastal environment. Many are banding together for a program that comes down hard on the plastic waste that's often found damaging their shores. Take a look.
Standing before the ocean, these young people are receiving their final instructions before getting started. Rubbish bags in hand, they're setting out to clean up the plastic waste that clogs the coastlines in the Republic of Congo.
Cleaning up the world, cleaning up the Congo, cleaning up the beaches. Taking action in the fight against plastic pollution is important and is one of the priority actions in the context of environmental protection and biodiversity preservation.
Every year, between 50 and 200 tons of waste pile up on this fine sandy beach in Pointe Noire. There are plastic bottles, plastic bags, old bits of plastic packaging. For this young biologist, there's an urgent need to act.
I'm here because of my passion, because I want to protect what I've learned over many years at school, protecting the environment. Picking up litter raises awareness, educates people, and makes them see. So when these people see us doing this kind of thing, they think, oh, they're doing something about it.
Specialists say that this pollution is destroying the Congolese mangroves, a unique ecosystem essential to the proper functioning of the coastline.
We talked about the mangrove forest, and they understood that this ecosystem must be preserved. Not only do we preserve it because it plays a role in fish reproduction and feeds certain animals that live around this ecosystem, but it also acts as a barrier for the people and homes behind it.
To learn more, the young volunteers visited the Natural Sciences Research Institute in the capital, Brazzaville. With barely 9% of plastic waste being recycled every year, thousands of tons of plastic pile up in the Republic of Congo's rivers and beaches.
Up-and-coming South African ballet dancers from the Dancescape School in the township of Zolani are attracting international respect. Two brothers are coordinating their steps to chase their dreams of performing on some of the world's biggest stages, and recently won a top scholarship to take a turn at an academy in New York.
Nestled in the hills of South Africa, the Dancescape School in Zolani Township is producing the next generation of the country's star dancers. 14-year-old Salima and his older brother Chuma are the latest raw talents to have been produced by the local dance school.
Heard about my mom, that her mom was actually a dancer. My grandmother shared some of her stories. Me and my brother and my sister got inspired. Then we told ourselves then that we want to dance. We want to be like her.
The Matiso brothers are very close to making their dreams come true. They recently received a scholarship to attend a ballet program at the Manhattan Youth Ballet in New York. Their father could not hide his pride.
It was going to Cape Town, going to Johannesburg, going to New York, going to France. Wow, who have thought? Who have thought? But here they are.
Over the summer, the boys took classes to improve their technique and won over the hearts of the teachers in the process.
Well, Salima has my heart because I love his sense of musicality and his ability to completely inhabit the music and the space. Chuma I find to be very diligent, very hard on himself in a very good way. They're both amazing movers.
After completing the ballet program, Salima returned to South Africa to finish school. His brother Chuma, meanwhile, is continuing his classes and auditions worldwide, but this time he's heading to Rome.
As a person from South Africa, I'm always open to being motivated by how other people from different places dance.
The two brothers follow in the footsteps of another Zolani dancer, Sifesile November, now principal dancer with the National Ballet of Canada.
Oh, that is so cool. That is, though, also all we have time for Across Africa. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Till then, take care.